So Thomas, I've heard you mention this route, ruin, multiply thing a couple of times. Maybe take us through that. I think you mentioned it was a pattern interrupt. How do you use it, and how's it work?
Yeah, it's a route room multiply is a sales cadence, right? It's a bit of a blended connect and sell approach with a permission-based dialogue. It comes from a guy named Justin Michael. If you haven't heard of him, you should check out his new book. It's called Tech Powered Sales. Just came out
Hmm.
this year. Generally, Justin Michael's a pretty good voice in the sales community as well. So yeah, definitely worth checking out. It has 3 steps. So route, ruin, multiply. The first one is route. You're looking for the decision maker. You pick up the phone, you get the gatekeeper, or you get the COO, but you're looking for the CEO. You simply ask for a referral. Hey, thanks for letting me know that Alice is the one I need to talk to. Do you mind giving Alice a heads up that I'm going to call? Or again, explicitly, hey, do you mind if I name drop when I call Alice? If I drop your name when I call Alice. Now, if you did get the gatekeeper, right, and you knew you were going to get the gatekeeper, say you're calling a cell phone, that's awesome. You still route the same way. You say, hey, Alice, can you let me know who's in charge of sales automation at Acme Corp? Now, the reason you do this, you play dumb, right? The reason you do this is you want her to emphatically agree and affirm her position. You want her saying, yeah, I am the CEO. Who are you? What's it to you? What do you want? At this point, we're going to move to the next step, which is ruin. So different sales methodologies all have an approach to this, right? In some cases, you do your research, you know the market, and you go in and you ask specific pointed questions about gaps or lacuna in the sales process or the tech stack of your prospect, right? So you know that they're missing something and you want to provide the thing that they're missing. In the worst case, you just go in blind and you start talking about features and benefits, and you start asking, hey, you're working with this solution, are they handling this well? And you just start kind of poking around. With route ruin multiply, you don't have to do that. We just ask open-ended questions, questions that can't be easily answered, questions that get your prospect speaking, right? So something as simple as, oh, hey, that's awesome to hear that you chose this particular solution. Why did you do that? Why did you choose that solution? Why not the other ones? And again, just get your prospect talking, right? You can even ask something really general, which is like, how's that going for you? And just wait for the silence. Wait for a little bit of a combative conversation to get going. Be comfortable with that, right? Especially if you just ask a question that is so general. Let them respond. Get them on their feet a little bit. After that, we move to multiply. So simply put, we want to affirm our prospects' successes, right? We want to say something like, hey, I love what I'm hearing. I think it's great what you're doing. Why don't we do it more efficiently? Have you considered that, right? And then you're adding your tech solution to their stack as a multiplication of what they're already doing well, and not necessarily focusing on those gaps. You're just simply showing them how they can keep doing what they're doing, but in a better way, right? In a way that's going to yield a higher return on their efforts.
I get it. It's kind of similar to a presentation style that I like to do, where, well, the route bit, make sure you're talking to the right person. Make sure that you're talking to the person who affirms that they are the decision maker as well, and they say like they've got the decision making power. And then problem, and then solution. It's very similar to a style of presentation that I would do. But yeah, that is interesting.
Precisely.
So,
I think the major difference is being open and vulnerable to what your prospect has to say. Because sometimes when we rely on that method of presentation selling, right, we go in with kind of an idea in mind of how it's supposed to happen, and then again we put that in front of them, right, as if it's just like a PowerPoint behind us, and we want them to look at that. And they glaze over in the conversation in a sense. What we're really doing is trying to force them out of that comfort zone, and force yourself out of that comfort zone. And a big part of that is going to be, again, asking open-ended questions, and then also being open to wherever that conversation happens to go.
And yeah, well, automation can be used in so many different ways that yeah, we do have to keep ourselves open to how people might use it, because sometimes the the stuff they come up with is fairly wild in what they need automated. And yeah, it's you couldn't have guessed it and thrown it into a PowerPoint deck before the
Absolutely, yeah.
presentation.
We can't be responsible for like the infinite possibilities that they could have, or any number of reasons why they don't like their current solution, right? That's why we don't want to lead with just sort of stabbing in the dark, but rather open-ended questions and let them speak and kind of go.
Yeah, let them sell themselves on why they need to change and get a different solution,
Hmm.
and then
Precisely.
apply the healing salve to the places that burn, as it were. Awesome. Well, thanks. I think that's a pretty quick little description of route, ruin, multiply.
Awesome. Thanks.